Ophelia Talks, and today I am here with a series of how to crochet. Now I'm going to try and show you how to start with crocheting, and obviously we're going to start with the basics. In the first class we will do a slipknot and the chain, then we will work on to the single crochet, half double crochet, and we will also do a granny square. I have other videos on my channel already which will show you how to do a circle and how to make other projects that you might be interested in, but to start with, these first few weeks will give you the good basics and some understanding of the crochet techniques. Now I am going to be using chunky yarn because I think it will show you really well what I am talking about. You will be able to see exactly what I want to point out, or what you should be seeing in your work as well. I am using a lightly colored yarn with a sort of different colored hook, so you can see really well what I am doing. So I hope this will give you a good basic foundation to learn to crochet, and yes, there is some homework involved as well. Okay, you cannot learn to crochet from one day to another. It does not happen like that. You need to practice. Okay, when you learn to ride a bike, when you learn to read, when you learn to write, you did not do that from day one. You had to practice again. Same thing with crochet. Your hands need to, how should I say that? Your hands, your muscles need to learn certain movements, and you need to be able to repeat these movements time and again in the same exact way. Muscle memory, that is what you need to create. And this will, once you've got that, once you've got the uniformity of movement, you'll be able to do your crochet much neater and tidier, and that is what we are trying to get to. So we are going to get started with a chain, then we work our way to a single crochet, double crochet, half double crochet, and I am going to ask you to practice in between. It is very important that you do those practices before we actually start going to something like a granny square. Okay, so good luck. Try to crochet every evening. Try to pick up your work every evening, even if it's just for 10-20 minutes. Hold that hook, hold that yarn, try again. In the beginning, I'm sure you'll be frustrated and it might not work from the first time. It does not matter. Undo it, start again. Okay? Play about with it. Have fun with it. Relax with it. Don't get annoyed with it. If it doesn't work that day, just put it away and try again the next day. You can always start again. You're not making anything that's very important at the moment. Just try. It doesn't look uniform. It doesn't look good. Okay. Undo it and start again. Okay, so let's get started with the first class. So in today's lesson we are going to learn how to make a slipknot and how to chain. So the first thing you will need is a hook. Now there are two important things when you are choosing a hook that you have to look at. The rest to me doesn't really make much difference. So as you can see, I don't use ergonomic hooks, so whether or not you use that, that's your choice. But the main thing that I find when I choose a hook is the actual point. And I don't know how well you can see, but these points are rounded in comparison to this one. So these are much wider and they're not so pointy as the pink one. The pink one is a lot pointier. This will help you to get into your stitches. So these two here, I don't like using those because I can't get in my stitches when I use these hooks. I use these hooks all the time, so they give you a little bit of a point at the top, and that helps me enormously to get into the stitches. Now what I also look for in a hook is the flat bit, because that is where I hold my hook. Some hooks don't have the flat bit, and the flat bit is orientated in such a way that the hook is facing you. Now if that flat bit isn't there and you're just holding your hook, you might be holding it with your hook away from you, and that will make it more difficult for you to grab your stitches, and you'll be turning your hook. I don't turn my hook because I have it in the correct position as I am holding it onto the flat bit there. So those are the two main things to me. Some people also look at the opening here, how deep that is, and if I just have one of my other hooks here, it shows you quite well. So this one is a lot deeper than, for example, this one. Okay, let me show you a smaller hook, that might be easier to see. So there is a difference. Obviously here your yarn is going to lie deeper into your hook than here, but for me personally, as long as the yarn is hooked, I'm fine. Okay, it doesn't need to be actually too deep in there. So that is the hook that you will need. So watch out for the pointy bit and watch out for the flat bit. Now let's have a look at some yarn. I am going to be showing you with chunky yarn, so it would be nice and clear for you to see what I am doing. This is normal DK. Now on every sleeve of your yarn you will find something that looks like this, and although it says knitting needles here, it's the same for your crochet hook. So you can use a 5.5 or a 6.5 millimeter knitting needle or crochet hook. Okay, so I am going to use a 6.5 with this one, and this is Stylecraft Special DK and prescribed as a 4 hook. So now to get started, you just use the hook that is prescribed. Okay, so I'll be using a 6.5 and I'll be using a 4, but personal tension might make that your work is very tight or very loose. And I always say, when you have done some rows, or when you have done one square, or when you have done a little bit of your project, look at it, check it, feel it. Do you like the look of it? Do you like what you have created? If it is too stiff, if it is too loose, you might just have to restart with a different hook. And what I do then is I keep what I have done, I don't undo it, and then I take another ball if you have another ball, or I take the other end of the ball, you have the inside and the outside, and I start again with a different hook, and then you can compare both and see what it looks like. Now these are things for later on, okay? Today we are going to get started with our hook, with our wool, and we're going to have a look at how this crochet malarkey works. So to start with, we are going to make a slip knot. I have a way of making a slip knot which is quite simple. Once you've remembered it, you can always, go back to that. So we have the end of the yarn here on our fingers lying like this. You roll the yarn around your fingers twice, like so. You hold on to that end here. Then you turn it towards you like this. Then you take the front loop and you put it over the back loop. Then what has then become the front is going to go over the back loop, and then you pull up the loop there, and you have made your slip knot. Okay, you will now notice that you can pull it and it gets smaller. So you insert your hook, what we were going to use, a 6.5, you insert your hook like so. Okay. Now, how to hold your hook. There's quite a few ways of holding your hook, like this or like this. I hold my hook like this, so I have it lying on top of my hand here. Here you have the end, and here you have your working yarn. Now, let me show you something here. If you look at the shape of the head there, you will see that it is a teardrop shape. So it's a round at the top and it goes into a point below. If you look at the shape of this loop here, it's the same shape. So it's round at the top, point at the bottom. So if I insert my hook like this, it goes in and out without any problems. Sorry, I'm doing this in the viewfinder, yeah? Because basically it has the same shape. If you insert your hook and you want to pull it through and you do it like this, it is not going to work because it doesn't have the same shape. Turn your hook down and it comes out no problem. So let's put this hook around the loop. We are going to hold our yarn in our other hand, and you need to create some tension because you can't do much like this, okay? It's not going to work. You need to tension the wool so that you can manipulate it. What I do is I hook over my pinky like this, and then I put it over my index finger like so, underneath these two fingers here. Then I pick up my yarn like so, and now there is some tension here. You hold on to this slip knot because obviously you've got nothing to hold on to, and this needs to be tensioned as well. And you pull back your hook, holding it with the point down, so it's going to go through your loop there, and you bring back that piece of yarn that you yarned over earlier. So you yarn over from the front to the back, you bring this piece into your hook there, pull back your hook, and yeah, look, I can't get through like this, so slightly turn it so you have the point down and bring it up. So this is chaining. So again, yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. Yarn over, and again, as you can see, hold on to this because otherwise you have nothing to hold on to. So I'm holding my thumb and index here, and I am just doing the same movement. So you yarn over and pull through. Now, some people find it very difficult to get through because they're working very, very tightly. Let me just pull it really tight. And look, now now my loop was much smaller and this is a lot tighter, as you can see, than these ones here. Some people are going to work much looser sometimes, and then your work is going to be a lot looser. So tight, loose, what you need to do is practice, practice and practice this. Watch this video again, watch it again, and practice, practice, practice until you have a long line of chains that looks all the same like this. Okay, so not too tight, not too loose, nice and uniform stitches. It is possible to learn this. It is not easy. You need to practice. It is muscle memory. It is doing the same thing over and over again. Okay. So when you have an amount like this, you will see that you have created V's at the front and little bumps, they call them, at the back. Okay, so there is a front to this work and a back. And it should all look nice and even like this, and not like these ones here where you have tight ones and loose ones. So I hope this video will give you a good start in what you need to do. Try and try and try again, please. Make sure you have, by next week, a very long chain of this, okay? You need to practice. Do it every evening. Do some every evening, at least 20 minutes, trying to make your stitches. I hope I have explained to you how this hook manages to get through the loop like that. So once you understand that and the shape of the loop and the shape of your hook, I hope that you can work out how to do it. So I will see you next week with a nice long chain of uniform chains. If you are new to my channel or you haven't yet subscribed, please find the red subscription button and click on it. It is free. You will then see a bell sign. Click on that too, so you are notified of every new video I upload. You can also find links to my social media right above that.